Hello, everyone, and welcome to the YouTube channel AMC Lawsuits and Justice, Project Popcorn the Scheme. My name is Ethan, and today we're publishing video number 18 in the Daniel Meyer Transmittal Affidavit series. Video number 18 will continue where we left off in video number 17. So let's begin. On August 4th, 2022, AMC announced the creation of a new class of securities known as AMC Preferred Equity Units, referred to as APEs, in homage to its retail investor base. These units were to be issued as a special dividend to existing holders of the company's common stock with the record date set for the close of business on August 15, 2022. What does it mean, a record date? In order to receive the APE, you've had to have owned shares of AMC on that date, August 15th, 2022. So question, who came up with the name for the dividend? Who came up with the name APE for the dividend? So let's go back to the Daniel Meyer Affidavit, Exhibit 33. All right. So here we have the Transmittal Affidavit of Daniel Myers. I've been harping on this document as we got it during discovery in 2023, specifically, I think May 20th, 2023. Several of us filed motions to get this document, including myself. It's very important. It's 928 pages. And we're going to focus now on Exhibit 33. So let's go up. As you can see, once again, this is Exhibit 33, which is on page 871. And we're going to scroll down. If you don't recall, Exhibit 33, the title of the document or the exhibit is the Board Briefing Potential Rights Offering of Preferred Stock. And this is dated February 2022. And Christian Gonzalez and Dere Van Zandt presented this to the AMC board, and the two gentlemen that I just mentioned were our investment bankers from Citigroup. And we're going to scroll down. I do recommend you go over this on your own, but I'm just going to focus on getting the answer. So Citigroup is the one that came up. It suggested AMC could call these AMC Preferred Equity Units APEs. Okay. All right. If you haven't watched the earlier videos, we're going to take a step back and review also Exhibit 24, focusing specifically on the reservation of the APE ticker symbol and why that detail matters far more than most investors were led to believe. Question: when was the reservation of the APE ticker symbol scheduled to expire? The answer is April 28th, 2022. So let's go over this exhibit. And let's go to Exhibit 24. And that's on 841. So let's go 841. And this is Exhibit 24. And I'm going to scroll down. This exhibit shows email correspondence with John Merriweather with a lady named Shannon Rockford from the NYSE. And we're just going to go straight to the initial email. So we're going to scroll down. The email reads bottom up. So we're going to start from the bottom. And here it is. So basically, John Merriweather reaches out to Shannon. He goes, "Hey, Shannon, hope you're well. Can you remind me again for how long we have the APE ticker symbol reserved?" And she responds a couple hours later. She says, "Until April 28th, 2022. As I stated a couple minutes ago, that is the answer. We had it till April 28th, 2022. Now, here's the key question. If it was slated to expire on April 28th, 2022, the question is, when did AMC make the application to reserve this ticker symbol? Now, if we go to the website on the NYSE, what does it state? We have a reasonable basis to believe that the symbol will be used within 24 months. So it's a two-prong. Let's start from the beginning, actually. Let's read this. The NYSE, New York Stock Exchange American, and the NYSE ARCA use up to 4-character symbols. Under the National Market System Plan for the Selection and Reservation of Security Symbols, the plan, we could only reserve a symbol if the issuer or its agent requests it, and then we have a reasonable basis to believe that the symbol will be used for 24 months. So if you run it through ChatGPT, it tells us, in practical terms, this means you can reserve the NYSE ticker symbol up to 2 years before you expect the IPO or listing to occur, and the symbol reservation expires around the end of that 24-month period if not used. Now, the key question is, what is the actual, how many months did they actually get? Did they get the full 24 months? None of us know, and that's one thing we're looking to investigate. I also want to show you that I actually reached out to Shannon Rockford. Let me just show you who she is. You can see the name. This is Shannon Rockford at the NYC. So I copied this email address and I sent it to her. And I sent it to her on August 26th because I'm conducting an investigation. August 26, 2024 at 12:37 p.m. I never got a response. I said, "Good afternoon, Shannon. I hope all is well. I was wondering, how long does a reservation for a ticker symbol last for? Thanks." And I signed my name. Okay, so let's get back. So now the ex-dividend date for APE. So mind you, the record date was August 15th, 2022. And the ex-dividend date for APEs was August 22nd, 2022. And AMC announced that the trading of APEs on the New York Stock Exchange under symbol APE would also commence on that date. Because the AMC board and Aron had authorized 1 billion APEs. Now, mind you, do you guys remember why it was 1 billion and how they came up with that 1 billion? I highly recommend you go back to previous videos. There's an email correspondence between John Merriweather and Sean Goodman asking how many apes should we issue. You know what? Let's do one better. I'm going to find it. Let's find this exhibit. All right, it's exhibit 35. Let's go to page 913. Actually, I don't think it's that one, but hold on. It's exhibit 35? No, it's not this one. Sorry, let me take that back. Oops. Sean Goodman. Here it is. It's exhibit 21. Let's go to page 832. So this is exhibit 21. Sorry, page 832. So now this is an email on July 21st, 2022. It's a question, city questions, PEU ATM. So it reads bottom up. So let's go. So basically, John Merriweather writes to Sean Goodman. He goes, Derek called me after the call with a few logistical questions regarding the S3 and the ATM plans. And then something's redacted, it's privileged. There had been some discussion about how many PEUs we would register, and 1 billion was discussed. 517 million or approximately for the dividend, and then the remainder for the ATM. Are we in agreement with the number is 1 billion? There's a sweet spot somewhere that doesn't raise the shareholders' ire about dilution, but also gives us the flexibility to raise the capital we want. I think we will get ire no matter what. So they already knew we would be pissed off. What the number is, so does it make sense to get the ire out all at once at 1 billion? And then Sean Goodman responds, I think 1 billion makes sense. Now, mind you, no Excel sheet, no explanation. If we dilute here, we raise this amount, we get rid of this debt. It's just a random number. And then it says to defer to the lawyers regarding the S3, Sean. All right, so let's read number 5 again, or paragraph 5. Because the AMC board and Aron had authorized 1 billion APEs, and the dividend would only cover 560 million. Let's round it off to 517 million shares. APEs, number equal to the number of shares of common stock issued and outstanding on August 15, 2022, approximately 483.2 million APEs would be categorized as authorized but unissued units on AMC's balance sheet. That means they could issue that amount of shares to dilute. Now, on the same day, Aron issued a series of tweets describing the move as playing 3D chess, including the following. So I think he issued 12 tweets. I only took 4. So let's go over each one. We're going to focus on tweet number 1, 2, 6, and 12. So let's just read it. Number 1, in the important tweet storm, a dozen messages explain a bold step. In addition to releasing today our handsomely improving second quarter 2022 earnings, we also broke out the 3D chessboard and got creative. A big move that addresses so many of your ass. Today, we pounce. Number 2, tweet number 2. Second quarter AMC results very encouraging. Revenue 2.5 times second quarter 2021, and positive adjusted EBITDA, and an enormous improvement over second quarter 2021 as promised. It's time to take bold action. An AMC preferred equity dividend to holders of common shares. Read this open letter. Today we pounce. Let's go number 6. Candidly, I've seen no evidence of so-called fake or synthetic shares exist. But many of you disagree. This preferred equity dividend goes only to company issued shares. So it will have the impact of a share count or unique dividend many of you have sought. Today we pounce. Now, has he ever told us what was the share count? Nah, nothing. Let's go to number 12. I must tell you, it's complicated, but it really is satisfying to play 3D chess, especially if you know how to play it well. Today, AMC Entertainment announced both vastly improved earnings and our game-changing new APE securities. Today, we pounce. So now, on August 4th, 2022, AMC filed a certificate of designation with the Secretary of State of the State of Delaware, which designated 10 million shares of the company's authorized preferred stock as Series A convertible participating preferred stock. The certificate of designation held the effect of amending the company's charter under Delaware law. The certificate of designation provided that AMC Board and Aron, by resolution adopted on July 28, 2022, authorized the preferred stock and established a pricing committee. Now, who was on the pricing committee? I think we addressed that in video 17, if I recall. If not, I think we're going to bring it up shortly because I think September 2022, we focus on the pricing committee as well. So, a pricing committee to determine the final terms of the certificate of designation. On August 4, 2022, the pricing committee approved the final terms of the certificate of designation. Each preferred share was designed to be equivalent in economic and voting rights to 100 common shares. Each AMC Preferred Equity Unit, APE, is a depository share and represents an interest in 1/100th of a share of preferred stock. Thus, each APE was designed to have the same economic and voting rights as one share of Class A common stock. Each APE was entitled to one vote on all matters AMC stockholders could vote on a single class. Subject to approval of all stockholders, the APEs were convertible to Class A common stock, provided there was sufficient authorized but unissued shares of Class A common stock to support such a conversion, which there was not at the time the preferred stock was created. Paragraph 9. The APEs are evidenced by a depository receipt pursuant to a deposit agreement among the company, Computershare Inc., and Computershare Trust Company, N.A., collectively acting as a depository and conversion agent. Paragraph 10. AMC then deposited the underlying shares of the preferred stock with the depository pursuant to the deposit agreement. The deposit agreement contained a unique voting provision that the AMC board and Aron failed to significantly disclose, not reflected in the certificate of designations, that requires the depository to vote all the preferred stock represented by the APEs, regardless of whether all the APEs holders actually cast a vote. Specifically, the deposit agreement provided in relevant part as follows. This is key. In the absence of specific instructions from holders of receipts, the depository will vote the preferred stock represented by the AMC Preferred Equity Units, evidenced by the receipts of such holders, proportionally with votes cast pursuant to instructions received from the other holders. This would allow the AMC board and Aron to dictate the outcome of any proposal, as long as they could entice holders of APEs to support the amending certificate. AMC included this provision in the deposit agreement because it knew the impact of the provision would artificially inflate the voting power of the APEs and remove voting control entirely from the Class A common stockholders. AMC also issued APE FAQ, Facts and Questions, in which it claimed that APEs were designed to have the same economic value and voting rights as a share of common stock, AMC further claimed. So here are the questions they raised and answers. Are the AMC Preferred Equity Units convertible to common stock? If so, when? Technically, yes. The AMC Preferred Equity Units can convert into common stock, but only if the AMC board proposes and then investors vote to approve an increase in the number of authorized shares of common stock, in amount at least sufficient to permit the conversion of the AMC Preferred Equity Units into common stock. However, we do not currently expect the AMC board to make such a proposal anytime soon. Now, mind you, if you've seen the previous videos, in the Weinberg exhibit, hopefully you guys went over that video. Why was that Weinberg email important? Uh, and who is Weinberg? Jeffrey Weinberg worked for D.F. King. That email exhibit is one of the most important exhibits to show the Project Popcorn scheme and the inculpating. And let's put it this way, it inculpates a lot of these people. They were already planning and figuring out how to convert it before it's even launched. APE was launched. Imagine if APE was supposed to was launched properly and correctly, and it was trading with the smallest spread, and it actually just traded in unison with AMC. But their intent was not. They were always looking to convert it and take the stock down. And if you need more evidence of support, look at the John Merriman email. So let's continue. Paragraph 13. The AMC board also told stockholders that they should not worry about dilution of the common stock. Is there any common stock dilution due to the AMC Preferred Equity Unit dividend? The number of shares of common stock outstanding, which rounds up to around 517 million shares, remains unchanged as a result of the distribution of the AMC Preferred Equity Units. In addition to the, let's round it up, 517 million shares of common stock outstanding on August 19th, 2022, an additional 517 AMC Preferred Equity Units will become outstanding on the ex-dividend date of August 22nd, 2022. Therefore, because these APEs are all going and only going to existing shareholders, there's no dilution from the initial APE dividend. Now, dilution only occurs when the AMC board decides that the company should issue additional AMC preferred equity units in the future. AMC expects that it will decide to issue more APEs with the express purpose of debt reduction or repayment, along with other potential usage for additional APEs as it has previously been communicated publicly. The AMC board and Aron had already intended to seek an increase in the number of shares of common stock when it approved the APE dividend. Rather than disclose that information, however, the AMC board and Aron affirmatively misrepresented its intentions to stockholders and downplayed any imminent dilution risk. In the APE FAQ, the AMC board and Aron did not inform stockholders that uninstructed APEs would be voted on a proportional basis by Computershare, or that holders of APEs who do not even attend the meeting would still see their APEs voted by Computershare. Finally, AMC predicted that because the AMC Preferred Equity Unit is designed to have the same economic value and voting rights as a share of common stock, in theory, the common stock in the AMC Preferred Unit would have similar market value, and the impact of the AMC Preferred Equity Unit dividend should be similar to a 2-to-1 stock split. Now, in an August 4th, 2022 open letter to the common stockholders, Aron forwarded his real reason for issuing the APEs. While each APE is designed to have the same rights as common share and can convert into a share of common stock, that conversion decision is solely up to you. Conversion can only take place if the company proposes and shareholders, including APE holders, vote to approve the authorization of additional common shares at a future AMC Entertainment stockholders meeting. This is still your call to make, emphasis added. Now, on August 6th of 2022, Aron followed up in his tweet storm, reminding AMC stockholders, let's go to that tweet. Oh, and while I'm on a roll this lovely Saturday, there's absolutely no dilution in the initial stock dividend payment on August 19th. That is because initially all these APEs go and only go to our current shareholder base. You own the same percentage of AMC before and after. And then hold on, there's another part to it. This is the second part right here. It only would be dilution if we decide after August 22nd to issue more APEs above and beyond the initial dividend amount. But as I tweeted earlier, if we were to do it smartly, that could be very good for AMC investors. Our track record at AMC is excellent on this score so far. Now that we know what happened, was he lying, or is this tweet actually, is he lying or is he deceiving us? Now let's go to paragraph 19. On August 6, 2022, Aron issued a tweet to address concerns about dilution related to Project Popcorn. aiming to counter any savvy AMC stockholders who are exposing dilution and its potential impact on the overall stock price. Let's go to this tweet. Biggest FUD of all on dilution. Some misunderstand or try scaring you. There's bad dilution and good dilution. If added liquidity gained from dilution is wasted, it's bad. However, if wisely handled, it is good. Indeed, for AMC in 2021, it was actually great for our shareholders. How did this tweet play out? Paragraph 20. At no point does Aron in his August 6, 2022 tweet address the dilution factor and its impact on earnings per share. Since 2020, AMC's outstanding shares have increased from a little over 100 million shares to over 520 million shares, with AMC making little progress in reducing its debt load. Paragraph 21. In the issue tweet storm by Aron, he describes APE shares as tax-free, a stock dividend, and it's not dilution. So let's go to that tweet. You will get one APE tax-free as a stock dividend for each one AMC common share that you own. At least for now, this is big news today. It's not dilution, as the AMC Preferred Equity Unit dividend will all go and only go to existing owners of company-issued common shares. Today we pounce. And this concludes video number 18. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss video number 19 as we continue moving through the 2022 timeline and into 2023 timeline to focus on the two class action lawsuits that were filed in Delaware Chancery Court, both on February 20th, 2023, just 38 minutes apart.